Hi friends, welcome to Aisha's DIY. Today we are going to see a bead weaving project, and this is with GGC Treasure Box Christmas Dazzle collection. And this one was the third treasure box that came. The treasure box is already sold out, but if you happen to have the treasure box, you can follow along with this design, or you can really substitute these products with any other beads that you have available in your stash. And this is like a heart bead. Let me show you guys. I don't know if it is clear in the crystal. It's like a heart shaped one, probably 2 to 3 millimeter, and we have in two colors. These two colors came in the treasure box, so I'm going to use that. But you can substitute this with the 3 millimeter bicone or a 2 millimeter bicone or 4 millimeter bicone, whichever you have available. The only thing you need excess of this is a 11 seed bead. You can use any 11 seed bead you have available. I'm gonna use a red so that I can tie the Christmas factor in it. Okay, I have here some 11 Toho Mayuki seed beads, and then this one is a silver lined red, so I have those, and our Christmas colors are ready. So first what we will do is we will pick up, so I have here size 10 beading needle and about 4 feet of fire line. It's 0.06. Let me show you guys the fire line that I'm using. Sorry, I'm not using fire line. I'm using wildfire 0.006 inch in a frost color. That's what I'm using, but you can use anything if you want. Like, you can use any color if you want to match your beads and stuff like that. So, and 4 feet of thread, and then I have 2 needles, so already threaded in my wildfire. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up 5 beads, 5 seed beads. Okay, 5 seed beads here, right? And then I'm gonna drop that down, then pick up 1 seed bead, and then crisscross on that seed bead with my left needle. Okay, I already have 5 seed beads down here, and then I'm crisscrossing with that 6th seed bead. Hold the 2 needles together and bring this down all the way so that it comes in the center of your cord thread, center of your thread. Okay, so now you have this. What I'm going to do is pick up 1 bicone, 1 bicone, 1 seed bead, and another seed bead on both the needles. Drop that down, pick up a 6 millimeter bicone, doesn't matter in the right or left, and crisscross through that bicone. Bring everything down. This is what you will have so far. Okay, this is what you will have so far. I'm thinking if I need to use more seed beads. Let's do it. So I tried it, I liked it better. So I picked up 1 seed bead, 1 of this hot crystal, and 1 seed bead, in both the needles and I crisscrossed with the 6mm bicone. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up the same one seed bead, okay, one of this hard crystal and one seed bead in my right needle, and do the same in my left. One seed bead, one of this one is broken, let's take another one, and then one of this. So this is what I took on both my needles. Drop those down, pick up a seed bead and crisscross through that seed bead. So this is what I have so far. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is pick up a seed bead. Okay. This time I'm going to do a white crystal. Okay. And a seed bead. Right. Do the same in the next needle, the left. Pick up a seed bead, the crystal, and a seed bead. Okay, and take a 6mm bicone and crisscross through the 6mm bicone. When you pull these threads, just be careful so that it doesn't knot. Can you see how it comes? There we go. Now again we're going to do the same thing. Pick up one seed bead, one of this crystal, and one seed bead in your right needle, and pick up the same in your left needle. One seed bead, one of the crystal. Finding the hole in this crystal is a little bit challenging because it's three-sided. There we go. And then and then drop that down. Now take a seed bead on my right needle, and through my left needle I crisscross through the seed bead. This is the pattern, very easy pattern to follow. Actually a great bracelet. It's very dainty and quite nice. As you can see, this is how it looks, very Christmassy. Okay, now I'm just alternating only the heart crystals. That's all I'm alternating. Now again pick up a seed bead, right? This time I'm going to do the green one, and a seed bead. The same in the left needle. Pick up a seed bead, the heart crystal, and a seed bead, and then drop that down. Take your 6mm bicone and crisscross through the 6mm bicone. Okay, you can also reduce the size of the center bead, and then you can reduce the 11 of seed beads to just one. That way you can do it also. So this is how I'm going to continue. Then pick up a seed bead on your right needle, a crystal, a seed bead, and do the same in your left needle. Seed bead, crystal, and seed bead. Drop those down, pick up a seed bead and crisscross. So one time you are picking up a seed bead and crisscrossing, the other time you are picking up a 6mm bicone and crisscrossing. That's the only difference that is with this pattern. Right now I'm going to go ahead and take my right needle, pick up a seed bead, this transparent crystal, and a seed bead. Drop that down and do the same to the other needle. Now take this bicone and crisscross. Pull that thread nice and tight. You can see the pattern forming very nicely. I'll just zoom in a little bit more and show you guys one more what I'm doing. Right, so what I'm doing is picking up a seed bead, this crystal, a seed bead on my right, drop it down. You don't have to drop it down all the way also. Pick up the same this side, as I said, it's easy with the bicone. It's hard to find the hole here because it's very small and also it's three-dimensional. So the last time I crisscrossed with the bicone, this time I'm going to crisscross with the 11 of seed beads. So take one seed bead and crisscross through that, just like so, and pull these threads sometimes if there is a knot, make sure you take the knot out. I'll be back. I'll take the knot off and then do this. I took the knot off and pull the cord. There we go. This is what we have so far. And then what I'm gonna do now is pick up a seed bead, a green one. This is the only thing I'm alternating for every unit. I call this as a unit and this as a unit. So that's the only difference that I'm doing. So, and seed bead on both the needles, a seed bead, the crystal and a seed bead right here. Pick up a 6mm bicone. I don't know if it is in a 6mm or 8mm, but it came with the treasure box and I really like the color. And now pull it through. This is what we have so far. And then I'm gonna do once more, but this time the same thing, the green, but the only difference this time is going to be we are crisscrossing with a seed bead rather than the 6mm bicone. crisscross through that, just like so, and pull the threads. This is what we have so far. I'll continue making this until we reach the desired length, and all we need is a clasp of choice, and you can use any clasp you want. We got a couple of toggle clasp with this box itself, but I ran out of it because I made a lot of stuff with it. So I'm gonna go ahead, maybe do a jump ring. We need 2 jump rings and a clasp of choice that we will see at the end. First we will finish the length. So for the lobster, maybe magnetic or a lobster claw clasp or toggle clasp, we need just 1 inch. The rest we need at least 6.5 inches of worth of the beaded material, so it's 2.25. I'll finish doing that for the entire length of my bracelet and I'll come back. So I finished doing this much and I am measuring it. It's almost 6.5. So if I include 1 more unit, which is going to be a little bit like 1/2 inch, it will be more. And I'm going to use this nice toggle and I'm going to use some jump ring. So I'm going to finish this off with this. So I am here at the end. Now I pick up three seed beads on one and 3 seed beads on the other. Okay, and I'm gonna crisscross through one of the last seed bead that we added in that 3 seed bead. Doesn't matter which side it is. So right, no, I'm gonna take away 1 seed bead. So I'm gonna add 2 seed beads on one needle and 3 seed beads on the other needle, and whichever I added 3, I'm gonna crisscross on the 3rd seed bead of that side. Okay, because in this unit we already have 1 seed bead which I didn't take into account. Now this is what we should have. So now the part is going to be about reinforcing. You can do 1/2 inch knots. I like to go through it. You can stop the bracelet at this point of time. You can go ahead couple of units and then tie some 1/2 inch knots and attach the jump ring and the toggle clasp. You can do that, but I like to reinforce, or you can embellish this with something else too. You can come over here and on top of this hole you can add a bead or 2. That is also totally up to you. This is my right cord. I come over, and come through the crystal, through the seed bead, and also you can add a bead or 2. I'm gonna try and see if I like it. Maybe I put this bead and go through here. If it is a bicone, it will sit properly in that space. Because it's not a bicone and you can still see the thread right here. Let's try this. So I like this. So I came out of this seed bead right here, added a crystal, and then came through the seed bead and the crystal, and the seed bead followed by that. Come through the middle one. I like that. That looks pretty. So I'm gonna do the same this side. Take my left cord. My cord is coming out of this bead, so I go through this small loop right here, and come back through this bead right here, and this one, and then add a crystal, the heart crystal, and go back through the next seed bead, the heart crystal, and the crystal, and the center bead, and the right side. How much ever beads you can go through, you can, and make sure you tighten your cord. And I really like this, it's pretty. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit this noodle over here on the side, and I'm going to go with one side first, and then I'll go through the next one. So what I'm going to go do is I am going to make my way through this set of beads, through my red seed bead, pick up a glass crystal, and go through the next one, next set of beads. Now I'm here, so I go through this side, this time I am with the green one, so I pick up a green one, okay, and go through the next seed bead, the green crystal. Basically I'm retracing my steps, but I am adding one crystal in between. Come back through the next, and the seed bead right next to it, and the center seed bead that we crisscrossed. There we go. Then again I'm going to go, see, I filled up this side, this side, this side, this side. I'm going alternatively wherever the thread path takes me, right? Go through this crystal, pick up the next one, go through the next set of beads, go back the other side. You can also use the 2 needle technique and go through. I have no problems, it's just this one is easier to do so. But if you like the way that we did the first thing, you can do the 2 needle technique also here without any problems. Make sure the crystal sits properly. Go through the next 11 in the circle. If you need it, you need a little bit of maneuvering, you can go ahead and bend the bracelet and try and get to it. There we go. Now I go through the next. Okay, now I pick up a transparent crystal and go through the next seed bead, the transparent crystal and the seed bead, and if possible the center seed bead as well. So there we go. Make sure this sits properly. See how it twists? If you pull it tight, it sits really nicely. So this is what I'm gonna do the entire bracelet out here, and then I'll do the same with the other side, going zigzag manner, and I'll come back. So I did take one needle off. I went all the way down, reinforced and tied some half-inch knots and came and I cut the thread. This is the other thread that I put aside. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I still have a couple of spaces to fill up, so I will go ahead and fill that up and do half-inch knots. So let's see how we can do that. So I come into position just between these two seed beads and the 6mm bicone. I have white crystal out here, so I'm picking up another white crystal and going through the next seed bead here, and if possible the next crystal and the seed bead. So go through and go through the middle connecting bead, and then what I'm going to go do is go down this side, because this side we already have the bead and we need to add the bead this side. So I'm going to go into the seed bead, the green crystal. We have to go through the seed bead too, but if you don't have the angle, it's okay to go through a couple of beads and then through the last one, whichever is comfortable for you. Here we go. And a half-inch knot is, there is a thread bridge already going between this seed bead and the big bicone. That's where I'm going to do the half-inch knot. So here we go. I just go ahead and go under and create a loop for myself just like that, and then go through that loop with my needle and pull through. Make sure you don't have any bead caught in between, so that's the only thing you need to make sure about. And
where's Daddy?
Sorry about that, that was my child, my younger one. So pick up another crystal and go through the next couple of beads, the 3 beads, and make sure this is straight. And then here you can see the thread bridge clearly, so I go underneath and make a loop and go through the loop with my needle and then pull it tight. There we have a knot. Then go through the middle bead that we crisscrossed with, and then through these. Okay, now I'm picking up the crystal, because that's what it is here. Go through the next couple beads in the circle, and then you can do a half-hitch knot by going underneath, making a loop and going through the loop with your needle. Go through the next bead. The knot will be pulled inside the bead. That's the whole idea. Now I'm going this side. This side you already have a bead, so I'm going this side. If you want, you can turn it around and go through the next seed bead right here. Okay. If anything gets caught, make sure you pull it off. And I still have nice amount of thread. Then I'm going to pick up a green one because that's the one in this unit, and go through the next 3 beads. There we go. Make sure this is properly nestled between these things. Then go ahead and go through the center. 11. It will become hard because we have been passing through this a couple of times, but not that much. If you feel it is hard, then you can downsize the needle from 10 to 12. The needle size becomes thinner as the number goes up. Go through the next couple of beads, the seed bead, and then add a crystal, and then go through the next seed bead, and the crystal, if possible through the next seed bead as well, but for me it was difficult, so I took 2 at a time, and then go through the, so pretty much we are done. See, we are done adding all the beads in between, and this is what our bracelet looks like. So now the idea is to do some half-hitch knots and then come out of the I'm gonna go through the center bead, okay, and if your needle is not coming through, gently pull that with your pliers. It might come through because, as I said, we have been doing a couple of passes and it might be a little bit tight. And I go through the center bicone because that we didn't enforce much. So I'm going through the center bicone and there we go. Then come back. Make sure nothing is caught in between the thread. And then catch the thread bridge over here and make a loop and go through the loop with your needle and pull it. That's a half-hitch knot, and then go through the 6mm bicone in the center. There we go. At this point of time, you can stop doing the half hitch knot because I did it with the other one. So if you want, you can stop it. I just like to reinforce as much as I can. That's why I'm going through it. But if you don't want, you can stop at this point of time. Some people don't even reinforce another time, but I like to do so because I am not a very tight beader. You need to understand if you are a tight beader or a loose beader. So like I prefer to go through a couple of times just to make sure that my piece is secure and there is no way that it breaks or something like that. So that's what I want to ensure. So I like to reinforce my project as much as I can. You don't have to do it like 3 or 4 times, but at least one time I would like to reinforce fully. And if there is thread available, I would like to utilize this the maximum, because anyways this shorter thread I won't be able to do another project, so it's going to be going to waste as well as I utilize this and reinforce my project. And as I said, if you're a tight beader, then you don't have to reinforce as many times. The more you reinforce, the more harder it is to get into the beads, because the thread has passed through a number of times. So as you notice, I'm not even doing half hitch knots, I'm just passing the thread through, because I know for sure if I do more half hitch knots, then it will be even more tighter to go around this. You can use a 6mm bicone to go through it. That way it will be easier for you. There we go. I'm almost at the end. Once you do a couple of beading projects, like bead weaving project, you will know whether you're a tight beader or not a tight beader. So depending on how you do your projects normally, you can decide for yourself how many times you need to reinforce your stuff. Sometimes I have gone to the extent that I will break the seed bead and ruin the project. So don't go by me. Whichever you feel comfortable is what the threshold is, right? So the thing is, If you are using 15 or seed beads, you won't be able to do this many passes, and obviously you will do a couple of half inch knots like 3 or 4, and that's it, you're done. But since it is a Toho seed bead and it has a uniform size, and I'm not worried about going through and coming back, I'm able to do this. Otherwise it would be hard, trust me. I learned it the hard way. I used to think, what's a big deal, we can just get the Chinese seed beads. It's also nice and very affordable, cheap. And then I got a bunch of them. Now I realize I should have spent my money wisely and gotten some branded seed beads. That way I can do my projects like a breeze. It comes in very handy, trust me. I learned it the hard way. Still I have so much beads, Chinese seed beads, that I'm not able to use it. So when you are using it for the for bead stringing, that's a good one. If you're using seed beads as a spacer bead, it's a good one to use. Even in that case, you need to be careful to not like randomly select beads. You need to pay attention to have beads which is of similar size. That will affect the end result a bit, how uniformly your work looks, how beautifully it looks, stuff like that. I'm at the end. I'm going to reinforce this loop. Go through the seed bead right here and catch the thread bridge underneath, tie a knot and go through that crystal. And I'll snip off the thread. No glue or anything. This is nice and sturdy enough. Such a pretty Christmas bracelet we got here. So now all I'm going to do is go ahead, take my jump rings. I would need a bent nose pliers and a tweezer nose pliers to open and close my jump ring. I have here 4. If I can, I would do 4 just to make sure that everything is nice and tight. So take my one end of the toggle and attach it to this, and let's try adding one more jump ring to this side. It not only looks good, but it is also secures the bracelet a bit more. And we are able to put 2. That's nice. So here we have one end finished. The next end, I take my bent nose pliers. I have a lot more circumference in the circle to hold it. That's why I really like the bent nose pliers. Take the other end of the toggle, make sure, go back and forth to make sure you open and close the jump ring properly. You can hear the click sound, so that you will know for sure it's said and done. Put it in the loop that we created with just the seed beads at the end of our bracelet, and go through the toggle again. Make sure it's not twisted. we go. And then close it, back and forth manner. So our bracelet is done. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos almost every day. It comes around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye. However, I might reduce my videos to 4 videos a week in a live. So it might change. Let me show you guys how it looks around the wrist. I really like it. Pretty Christmassy. Thanks. Bye.